Hello, this is Anita Delahaye, Head of Learning Science at Argos Education. I'm going to do a brief demonstration to highlight the various ways the Argos platform supports the delivery of content and instruction. There's a lot of flexibility built into the platform that allows for various organizations, institutions, educators to use the platform as a delivery mechanism in the way that best suits their models, their delivery models. First, I'm going to show a couple examples of portals that can be used to highlight various products, allow educators or even bookstore managers to browse the products and select those products for instruction. Then I'm going to show a very typical use case, which is integration with an LMS, such as Blackboard or Canvas or D2L, and bringing the content, the Argos lessons, courses, and so forth into the LMS course section environment. Next, I'm going to show the use of the platform as a standalone delivery mechanism, direct delivery, which allows educators to set themselves up with an account, create course sections, enroll students, and track their progress. And last but not least, I'm going to show something that's called open and free. This is really a marketing mechanism, either to allow educators or students to sample a course, try it before they buy it, if you will. Maybe it's the first course in a program that's free as a way to understand what the rest of the instruction in that program will be like. So what you're looking at here on the screen is a portal built by our partner Infiniscope. They have very wonderful, rich, content-rich, media-rich, high instructional value lessons that are made available to K-12 educators in the United States. And they have built this portal as a way to allow educators to sample from their various products and to learn about them and which ones they might want to teach with. For example, here I've clicked on one called Star Party. This is a lesson that an educator can link to and then teach on the Argos platform. Once they go into Star Party, they see this screen, which essentially allows them to either preview that content. They can simply start teaching with it, go in and have access to creating a section, or they can even customize that content, which involves authoring in that to make edits and to perhaps use what's there and add a little bit of your own, maybe an end of module quiz or something like that. When the educator clicks over, they are brought into Argos with that lesson populated for them. So they have their own mini course section with that lesson. They can go from there and use many of the features of direct delivery, which I'll share in just a little bit, to customize, to invite students and to track student progress. Okay, so that was one example of a portal for linking to the content that resides in the Argos platform and puts a sort of a marketplace and a collection view into that. A second portal that is available is the Argos platform. This platform really allows us to highlight various publishing partners. You see several there across the top. It allows us to highlight certain areas, domains of content, and create collections around those, or even to sort of create unique showcases for a collection or a unique compendium of content and share that as well. Similarly, educators can do many of the same things they can on the Infiniscope portal. They can preview the content, they can launch that content and be brought to the Argos platform, or they can begin to do some authoring with that content. In addition, this portal makes available the ability for bookstore managers to log in and to purchase access codes for their students to resell in their bookstore or to share directly if that is if there's a resource that's the resource model used at their institution. All right, so those are two examples of portals. The second thing I'm going to highlight is using an LMS. to connect to Argos and the courses and the lessons and the content in Argos. So I'm in a Canvas LMS right now. This is, as I said, probably one of our most popular use cases for connecting to the content at the moment. An LMS administrator enables Argos as a tool, and then that becomes available to educators in their courses to select. So as an educator in this is my course section, I've already added some content to my course here. And I'm going to demonstrate a little bit of using this feature to bring in new content and show you a little bit of the control that the educator has when adding materials. So in customizing content, I can go in at any time and select from the materials that are available to me. So these are the things that by virtue of a community that I'm in Argos or some other writer permission that I have, I'm able to select and bring into my course. So to add to what I have there, so that's not what I wanted to select. I will select, let's select this one. I'll bring that unit in. And maybe this is not the order that I want to have it in. I'd like to put this first. I decide that, I decide that the unit on writing measurable learning objectives, that module no longer makes sense. So I'm going to remove that. And then I'm going to save my changes. So now I can go in and I can preview that course. Enter it as a student, I can further customize that. I can add any number of gates or schedules. So maybe, sort of bracketing the time frame in which students have access to various materials, creating sort of rules where, I have to finish module 2 before I can begin module 3, that sort of thing. There's a really nice feature here to point out, and that is that Argos, the Argos platform, serves a little bit as a delivery workflow. So there are, for the content. So if there is a change needed to the content, someone can author that back in Argos and it can become available through this link. There would be a 1 or a 2 or a 3, depending on how many updates there were. And an instructor can decide to take those right away. So if there's a problem with the content, for example, that's a really nice way to get that issue fixed immediately and get that into live sections. And then there is a connection to the gradebook. So I can manage the return of grades from the Argos platform to my LMS gradebook. And I can automatically populate any gradable item into my gradebook, or I can simply download all the scores from Argos. All right, so that is a second very popular way that content gets delivered, and that is through an LMS. The next thing I'd like to show is what we call direct delivery. This is a completely standalone method. If there isn't an LMS or a portal, or an organization would like to use Argos as their delivery platform, if an individual educator wanted to come onto the platform, create some content, and begin offering that, this is the way that they would do that. It's very simple. I have received a login as an instructor, and from there I can go and again pick from any of the materials that are available to me. I'm going to pick this English Composition 1 course. I can set up that as a section. I can decide when that section becomes available, whether guests can enter that section or it requires an enrollment, and set many other features. I can give it a unique title. I can set a start and end date, and I can select a brand to apply to that course. So I'm going to create that. And then from there, I can do all of the same features, plus I can invite students. So here I create a unique link. I email that to students that I want to be in my course and to take that course on the Argos platform. They enroll themselves, they authenticate as users, and then I can see their progress and their scores. And essentially the Argos platform is used as a mini LMS, if you will. And then last but not least, I wanted to show this notion of open and free. So if I wanted to create a content offering, a lesson, a full course, and make that available to learners without the need to enroll, I could simply create an open and free section. This allows people to enroll as a guest. It's a lower barrier to entry. Again, you might want them to come in here and sample from your offering before, asking them to continue on in some way. So again, a lot of flexibility in connecting to the Argos platform and using it for a delivery vehicle for content and instruction. Thank you.